Murderbot Diaries is the best series you're not reading about a socially awkward robot who likes to binge his favorite show instead of interacting with humans and calls himself Murderbot. I was listening to the Writing Excuses podcast. It's a podcast where Brandon Sanderson and some other writers give writing advice. And in one episode, they had Pat Rothfuss as a guest, and he couldn't stop raving about this book. So I thought, well, Patrick Rothfuss probably knows what he's talking about. And boy, was he right. There are 4 books in the series. They're novellas, around 30,000 words each. Before you say you don't like short books, I don't either, okay? But trust me, this one is worth it. And the novel is coming out in May. You might want to have read this by then so that you can read the novel. This story takes place in distant future. In this world, there are security unit robots that you can hire through companies. They have some cloned human parts. They're not former humans. They are actually robots. They're mostly in armor, but if they take their armors off, they look like humans. Although you can sort of tell the difference, but they follow orders from the company and provide protection for your group, whatever mission you're on. You know, it can be a research team of scientists that needs some protection on a distant planet kind of thing. There are also humans with robotic parts in this world, and they're called augmented humans. The protagonist of the series is a security unit, or SecUnit for short. After a traumatic experience, he was able to hack his government module that allows the company to control him. So now he pretends to be under the company's influence, but he actually has completely free will. He's an expert in hacking. He can connect to other machines wirelessly, so he can hack those as well. I say he because the audiobook is narrated by a man, but he's actually genderless. They say it in the book because he's not human, but it feels weird for me to say it because this robot is more human than most human characters I've ever read in any book. He's so genuine and charming and funny, and not in a slapstick gags kind of funny. The humor comes from his character and his commentary on the situations he finds himself in. It's an action sci-fi book, but it's about Murderbot finding a place for himself. He genuinely cares about his clients. He does everything to keep them alive. He doesn't hesitate sacrificing himself. And in return, he starts making friends. Not only with humans, I think his friendship with other machines is even more interesting. The machines react to him differently than they do to humans. So it turns out a lot of bots and constructs have varying degrees of sentience. By the way, he doesn't want to be human. He's not in any existential crisis or anything. He is happy the way he is. It's just about finding his place in this world because he's so unique. There's nothing quite like Murderbot, but it's still so relatable. I feel like him on a daily basis. Even when I'm at a social gathering, I usually find a quiet place to read my book. Last summer, I was at an after party for a film festival. And there were tons of people. I found a nice quiet place to read my book a bit. And of course, someone found me and started to make conversation. And I'm like socially awkward and drained by the party anyway. But also just want to read my book. And I don't even like the book. It was The Gilded Wolves, I think. I said I couldn't tell her what was happening in the book. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, no, I mean, it's just a mess. And she was like, why don't you stop reading then? And I said I was already 90% into the book. She could not understand the curse of not being able to DNF books, okay? Anyway, that's kind of what Murderbot does. He finds a quiet place and just turns on his favorite series, The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon, and watches it whenever he can. He might come across as distant, but he actually cares about people. He just has social anxiety. I don't know what it says about me that I can relate to this robot, but I don't care. He's amazing. I am happy to have found myself in this robot, okay? The only sort of downside of this series is the plot. So in the bigger picture, there is this big corporation that is mining alien remnants or something, and that is illegal apparently. It's not quite obvious what they'll do with it. It seems like it's just for profit. And then in each book, our SecUnit Murderbot is basically with a group of people. They're doing a thing, and then suddenly someone wants to kill them, and then Murderbot saves them, and that's it. It gets really repetitive. I gave the first book 4 stars because the plot wasn't super engaging, but his relationship with his group was just fantastic. The second book I gave 5 stars because he meets another robot, and that robot is also sort of sentient and has personality, but in a very different way from Murderbot. Their relationship was just so incredible. I'm excited to hear that other robot will be back for the novel. The third one also had another fun robot, but at that point the plot was so repetitive. I just got bored and gave it 3 stars. In the fourth book, the people from the first book are back, so again, that relationship is great to read. And it just has an amazing, heartwarming ending. Normally, I would say if you are a plot-heavy reader, this book is not for you. But for this one, I'm just gonna say maybe you can read something different every now and then. I think it's totally worth it. It's amazing character writing. The world is kind of interesting too. It's not super detailed, but detailed enough. There's the convenience of Murderbot hacking everything all the time, so that gets old, but it makes up for it with incredible character relationships. I'm very excited about the novel coming out in May. I highly recommend you read the series. I hope the novel turns out good too. I saw some reviews from people who got advanced copies, and it seems like they liked it. I don't know how I'll wait for it, but it's exciting to have a highly anticipated book. I don't really have anything else I'm looking forward to this year. Anyway, I hope you check this book out. If you already read this, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like to let me know. And if you'd like to see my review for Murderbot Diaries novel, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.